loading into Echo. Our map order has been Echo, Vani Research Station, and Coda. So Echo and Coda keep on showing their lovely heads.
It's the Coda.
But first, Echo, and we'll definitely see Vani Research Station, which I haven't seen yet. I haven't casted one yet for this tournament, so that'll be interesting. But first things first, we've got our purple Zerg. He is from the Infinity Gaming Pro Team. He is EON.
And I'm not going to botch it this time. Sitting down on the lower side of the map, we've got... Is it flip side Bales? Is that what flip side is? F side?
Yep.
Whatever, it's our red Protoss. It's Bales.
From the team Flipside Tactics.
There we go.
Got him.
That one.
And actually, both of these teams are... I guess Flipside Tactics certainly more... certainly more well known, but Infinity Gaming, I think it's actually been around for a while. They just this past year have put a little bit more focus on trying to cultivate a couple of like high level players. So I think Eon's just the player manager actually for the team. So, but as well as that, he's also a pretty good player. I don't know who they have for. They have a couple of GMs, I think, but I don't remember who they were. However, an interesting development out of EON. He's going for a quick gas and pool, so going for... I wouldn't assume that there'd be banelings coming out of this.
He's going speed,
yeah,
and then he's going to roll Banes, and then he's going to win, right?
I don't know if he'll win, man.
All right, he's going to win, and he's not going to lose any units, even though banelings have to die in order to be useful.
I don't know that it'll lose. I mean, I don't know. Protoss has a number of options. If Bales chooses to play safe, I mean, it's kind of a coin flip, right? But so far, Bales choosing pretty safe and conservative opener with his gateway into Cybercore. Sending out his scout, it's not going to really... The only thing it's going to see is a bunch of Zerglings moving around across the map, but...
Well, but these Zerglings will actually hurt, because even if he chrono boosts out a mothership core to deal with this,
yeah,
that he's not going to be able to do that for another 20 seconds or 15 seconds or so. And then he's got the build time, and he's got to wait for, what is it? Is it 100 energy for Photon Overcharge? So these Zerglings actually have the potential to do quite a bit of damage early.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Because there's no defenses. There's one Zealot. That's it.
That can with that micro and the probes, he can certainly hold it off. I believe in Bales. I mean, the speed follow-up might be tough, but this first round, it is important that he doesn't lose a lot of probes or lose this Zealot unnecessarily. Hopefully, he doesn't get surrounded. He is chasing the Zerglings back. I think EON might be kind of trying to bait Bales out of his base a little bit, out of position a little bit, and then hit him with that surprise speed, but Bale's smartly going for, at some point, going to be going for a wall off here up at the top of the ramp.
See, here's the thing. He needs, right about now is when you look at this, and speed is about to finish, and that sentry is about to come out. If he can manage to get those Zerglings up that ramp, hold on, there is enough for one force field as soon as that thing comes out. So he can get one force field, and then after that, there's nothing to stop this from rolling up, aside from two Zealots. But I think this is he's got about as defensive a position as he can take. He's got the mothership core moving around to scout it. It's sitting over the top of the ramp so he can get a few extra hits. And he's got the hole plugged here with whatever he can. But if he finds a hole, that's it. Oh, the force field goes down and does trap 4 Zerglings on the other side, and the rest are forced to retreat cross map. But he does take an expansion, instead. So he didn't get his expansion blocked by the early Zealot moving cross map. So that was a good thing for EON.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, though, I mean, if we look at, I think the important thing to see here, assuming that, hold up, is this going to happen? Nope.
Almost.
I was just about to say the worker count for Bales very strongly in his favor right now, so we'll see if he's able to hold. He's in a good position. He does cancel the Nexus once, but at least he gets to cancel instead of a straight-up kill. He recovers a lot of his minerals there. And I think at this point, he probably feels pretty comfortable. EON continues to make a good round of Zerglings here, so maybe he's really trying to make something happen. Bales has seen this expansion at the natural here with that probe. And he even does have a proxy pylon, so at some point he does have that kind of, even if EON decides to, siege up or try to contain Bales in his base with the threat of these Zerglings, he does have a proxy pylon to warp in. Even just a couple of Zealots can really make it scary. Good force field to hold him out.
He trapped
Nicely
everything,
trapped.
absolutely everything. There's now the first force field in the back is going to go down, so if there's any Zerglings that survive, they'll be able to run, but it doesn't look like it. He re-force fields, and that is that for the Zerglings. One tries to get out, but unfortunately, it's not going to prom this year because it died.
Yes, not a great turn of events for EON. He's continuing to make these Zerglings in hopes of really making something happen, maybe catch his opponent making the wrong decisions, but all the while he doesn't really know that there is. I do feel like that proxy pylon off on the left side of the map will be significant at some point. We'll see if although Bales has done this before, where he just moves out a bit to put more pressure onto his opponent, realizing that his opponent's already in a tough spot. And the best thing that, I guess the worst thing that Bales actually could do would be to not push out. So maybe this is the best thing that he can do. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense.
Wow, that was like the most circular reference I think in the history of circular references for the
basically
record.
What I was trying to say is EON's best hope here is that maybe he gets the third base and Bales just doesn't punish it, but as we can see, Bales is certainly ready to punish that. I can't make words right. I swear I finished.
It's okay.
I don't do school
the same
good.
education of schoolmanges that I. That's our sentence. It's okay. I'm eating donuts. That's the only thing that's keeping me awake.
Nice.
Anyway. All right. Anyway. Yeah, this is. I don't know what to make of this. I mean, the hallucinated Phoenix pops in once more, goes in and gets some information, sees that there's basically two bases. There's not much of the front, a couple queens, and some Zerglings. He's pushing up with this sentry force, but this will be able to handle these few Zerglings, I have a feeling. With the Mothership Core, he might lose one or two. He does lose one sentry, but that's pretty much it. The creep spread really is I hate to say it, it's not great. He doesn't have bases connected, so even if he has to reinforce from his main, there is going to be a slight delay due to that probably like 2 or 3 second gap of no creep down the ramp. He just now is putting a creep tumor outside of any of his bases. But in the meantime, we've got Immortals production coming up the wazoo, two efficiently mined bases. And that's really all there is to it. He's got a warp prism over on the one side. He's got he's got a proxy pylon on the other. He's got so many options available to him that EON is going to be hard pressed to do something unless he can get the third, maybe a macro hatch of some kind, maybe a stealth third somewhere else. But that's all I can think of at this moment.
It's kind of looking like Bales is channeling his inner parting. I like the pickup of the sentries with the warp prism there. That was cute. They're stuck in their little force field ball, and they got evacuated by the warp prism. But yeah, Bales I think is channeling his inner parting, and it's time to make this choo-choo train ride all the way home.
Sentry Immortal push.
Yep.
Sentry Stalker push, which you sometimes see also. But you know what? There are a lot of Hydras here. Although that was a really good set of force fields, though, so it pretty much flips the Hydras, makes them ineffective. Time Warps of Palooza. Holy crap, Guardian Shield. There's so many like lasers, phasers, and blazers here. I don't know what's gonna, I don't think there's a way to win. He pulls the voids. The Hydras are blocked down the ramp. Oh, this is. Unfortunately, I believe this is over. Some GG's called, and Bales takes game one.
Yeah, very nicely done out of Bales. Well handled against that early aggression there. And we'll be moving on to game number 2 on Vani Research Station between these two players.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab a quick beverage, and I will be back.
Okay. I guess I haven't taken any breaks yet today. Whatever. No breaks. Back to work. So Vani Research Station, we're gonna make this as a party. So I guess I'll try. I mean, I guess at the end of the day that the reactions there out of Bales pretty good overall. He handled the early aggression quite well. He played the defensive protests very properly, I suppose. He didn't take any risks. He didn't end up letting those speedlings really do the job that they wanted to do, and Bales at the end of the day, through a simple economic advantage that he gained through the conservative play and the risk taking by EON, Bales comes out ahead and wins out game 1.
Yeah, and that game is a really good example of how, if you're gonna do a timing push, like it appeared he was gonna do with the Ling speed, that you make sure you make the timing push. Yeah. Because there was that very small window where speed was finished, and the sentry hadn't come out yet, and he could have had a chance to potentially run up the ramp while it wasn't blocked. He could have sent in even one Zergling just to get a lay of the land up there, to see that there was 2 pylons blocking off the side and that there was a small wall there. All that information would allow him to sort of conserve resources by way of not losing his army. But, it's little things like that I'm sure he'll pick up when, everyone watches the replays to see what could they have done differently. And I think that's one of the pickups and takeaways that I think everyone should get from that. You make a timing push, you make your timing push.
Yeah, and I think, as well as that, I think it was a really good response out of Bales. I think he just did everything right to make sure that EON had the smallest possible chance of really making things happen there.
Yeah, putting those few sentries at the third also really hurt Zerg, because Zerg cannot be on even bases when they play. Yeah. You've got to be on at least +1 base for your opponent.
Yep. So it is into game 2. We're on Vani Research Station. This is the Midwest Cup number 6, day 1. And we have, in the bottom side of the map, we've got our purple Zerg. He is EON with a cheeky drone that we'll come back to later on.
And at the 12 o'clock position, currently leading the series 1-0, it's the red Protoss, Bales. Boom.
Boom.
Said it, homie.
So I feel like
this drone's gonna go up, and he's gonna put a base in your base and proxy hatch in your base.
Maybe
and that's exactly what he might do.
Actually, yeah, I think that was he snuck that up there just so slightly, and I believe it certainly was out of range of the building pylon. It doesn't have that full vision radius until it's constructed, and so EON. He's got this one thought out. We'll see if Bales is able to catch on to anything. It's a very long scouting distance, and I don't know that this probe is really going to get there in time. I mean, will he catch on to what will likely be this proxy hatchery out of EM?
Yeah, and what's crazy about that is that he still doesn't have the hatchery being built. I mean, he's got nothing. He literally has drones, like not even a spawning pool. He's got the necessary overlord for the beginning. But here comes, Captain Probes and Pylon glowy dude coming in there to find out what's going on. And there it is. There's the proxy hatch. Bam! I even called it. How you like me now? And I don't even play Zerg.
Well, it is common to the proxy hatch, as far as I understand, always goes down on 15 supply out of a Zerg.
Oh, and he still doesn't see still doesn't see it. He puts his own expansion down, but he doesn't see the proxy hatch there.
Not yet. He has scouted. He has done his due diligence, and he saw that there's no hatchery yet at the natural of EON. Although EON was sending down a drone to maybe fake him out and be like, "No, I'm definitely expanding." Yeah, certainly. This map though, that referencing a lot of pro games recently. And this is why Bales is actually going ahead and checking a lot of these gold bases, as that pros have been really likely to take a bunch of these gold bases as Zerg and literally go 2 gold base hatcheries like before, or I guess what was just like a spawning pool in the middle, and then going mass speedlings and to like a Hydra push that just overruns their Protoss opponent. It's a very weird thing, this map. And so I think Bales, he knows that there's a proxy hatchery somewhere. He just doesn't know where yet.
And you know what? I'm looking at his vision, and this, we got a few seconds here, about 5 seconds before this Nexus finishes.
Yeah. And
the creep is already spreading up there. And when this pops up, boom, there's a base in your base. What are you thinking about that, Bales?
And so, yeah, he's... At the very least, the cannon at the front means that he won't really have this 2-pronged aggression going on out of EON, and maybe EON takes out this natural and nope.
Oh, The Zerglings get out by the skin of their hide. So lucky. Oh, so anyway, the Zerglings are chipping away at this, at the natural over here. There's 2 more that are like warning sentries. A queen pops in to help with this, and there's more Zerglings being morphed. This queen will be more than a match for that little tiny midget zealot. Go back home, Tuxedo Boy. You ain't any help here. Oh, and the natural is getting all gooped up into purple jelly, symbiotic fluid, gross stuff. And meantime, this can't feel good on the Zergling claws whacking away at this building, but it's coming down. There is like no real defensive structure here. There's a mothership core. Yay, mothership core. Anyway, there's a second zealot being made, and that's the extent of the defenses, except for a few cannons.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Bales can really hold this one off. I mean, EON's definitely committing to this attack. He's not going for any additional expansions of his own, you know, deciding to stay just a base ahead of his opponent. He's going for the kill now, and he's
here we go.
Wants to make it happen.
Queen is for support. They're going to go ahead and try to take out these 2 forward cannons. And they're probably going to get the 1 right away, but not that one.
Well-executed surround on the Zealots. I mean, the Zealots go down quite quickly just as the cannons are finishing their morphin, so they don't have that, you know, the partnership between the 2 of those, making this much more effective of a defense. However, the Zerglings all go down. A single cannon makes it through the whole business, and it looks like, actually, at the same time, some Zerglings at the front of Bales' base managed to get taken out by that cannon that's guarding the front ramp. So right now, his main concern is his background, but every moment that EON isn't dealing damage to Bales means that Bales is growing stronger and more capable of actually defending this push, because there's no economic growth in EON's strategy right now. He's just going for this kill.
He throws on a force field over the cannon and attempts to try to prevent it, but he doesn't center it perfectly. He's got 3 queens still. They'll go ahead and take out the, with Transfuse going down. Wow, he tries to pull that one back, but cannot. Warp Gate is going to finish here in about 10 seconds. The queens retreat back to their ad. There are more Zerglings being made, but yes, you are right. He was not attacking constantly with this. He had more than enough energy to do transfuses. He is attempting to go ahead and get some more creep spread to help with this. So, but the tumor's going to be taken out, and the queen very ill-advisedly goes up that ramp to try to deal with the sentries. But yeah, Warp Gate is finished. And you know what? Bales can just simply expand to where his 3rd would be. There's no need for him to actually move down this ramp. He's got more cannons now, and now at this point, it's becoming almost impossible. Without roaches or some sort of faster moving unit that can circumvent the cannons, EON is in a tough place now.
Mm-hmm. And Bales this whole time is blocking the natural base of EON, not even letting him, you know, try and take that backdoor expansion of his own. So EON's just getting further and further cornered cornered literally and figuratively and all of the above into committing to taking out Bales' base from the inside.
And you know what? Like, the thing about the pylon is, this is something that I do. I don't take this natural on Bonnie for this very reason. Because it's difficult to defend. You got to march your army clean through your main, back and forth, or even a few units, and it's a long distance. For the Zerg, you already have your units putting creep down at the front. Take your 3rd as your natural instead, and then go ahead and take your natural as your 3rd, so that you got some defendable resources right at mid-game. And
however, we actually, I mean, these cannons are really the saving grace of Bales right now. The army supply, I mean, keeps swinging into the favor of EON, but at the end of the day, the defensive posture that Bales has got set up is really managing to hold it together, but just barely at that skin of his teeth, you know?
Yeah, and one of the things that he's not taking advantage of is he can actually mine Bales' natural here by sending out 2 or 3 drones and maybe getting himself a couple of extra, you know, minerals here and there.
Yeah, I think at this point he's kind of limited by the fact that he only has these larvae that are inside of Bales' natural, like using to try and get Zerglings from the other side. It's already walled off the other ramp, so his only source of larvae is this one base inside Bales' base.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, you could, and he is putting quite a bit of money into this. Like, he keeps reinforcing his Zerglings, so he really doesn't have any spare cash to even get any more advanced tech that might actually be able to, you know, help break this hold that Bales is kind of forced him to make.
And even like a single Zealot warped into the back of EON's base that we're seeing here just puts some more pressure onto onto this Zerg player, makes him make Zerglings outside of Bales' base. You know, those are just that's just more resources that can't contribute in the attack very well. And then we've got an Oracle coming down. That's going to put a whole lot of
that's
pressure
a Void
on
Ray.
Huh?
Where's the Oracle? I see a Void Ray being made.
Down the middle of the map. It's already almost there.
Oh, I didn't see it already have been made. Sorry. Now I see it. All right. Good call. So yeah, the Oracle, you're right. This Oracle's going to come in, and he's going to follow up with the Void Ray, which will be able to do prismatic alignment, which should be able to help kind of chip away at these queens more. But wow.
It's just going for
the
kill.
There goes drones.
Yeah, and this, I mean, now Eon's, what was already desperate is now, I'm not sure what's worse than desperate. I'm not sure. I guess hopeless is a good word there. He has built up quite the army in the back door of Bales' base, but at this point in time, it's hard to say that it's really going to work. With a couple of good force fields, managed to partition off the army. Maybe with some great queen control, Eon can make some magic happen, but it's really hard to
good
say
transfusion on lead queen. It still goes down. You know, he's not able to pick off those zealots, and that's what's killing. These zealots,
they're all so low.
5 kills. Well, that only has 1 kill, 2 kills. I mean, he's not able to kill off these weak ones, and their shields are regenerating.
Yep.
You know? Oh, he decides to go ahead and bring in a spine crawler. Too bad you can't spine crawler on a ramp.
Don't worry, Legacy of the Void will be able to do that. We used to not be able to put creep tumors on ramps. Next up, we can build all our buildings on ramps.
Well, next you'll just be able to build your buildings anywhere, you know.
Yeah, man. Who needs
maybe
creep?
You can fly even. I mean...
We gotta evolve somehow, right?
Yeah, you gotta have all of it. Gotta have all of it. Evolve to all.
Yeah. So at this point, we've got a tremendous supply advantage for Bales. Eon, he's just... You know, he's sticking to it because this is the loser's bracket. This is his final chance at continuing on, and he doesn't want to give up just quite yet. He's got the warrior spirit, you know. Never give up until you're dead. Unfortunately, he's pretty close to dead with 24 kills onto this Oracle. A lot of them being workers. A whole of 14 workers killed by Bales means Eon's down to just 10. He doesn't even hardly have the mineral supply to keep up this Zerg and Queen production, or Zergling, excuse me.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this is going to be the final battle. There's no other units in production, really, you know, for Eon. And unfortunately, this is it. This Queen is going to die a horrible death with giant red laser blades in her face, and that is, I'm guessing, going to be it. He's probably going to make some, like, you know, little quip at the end. It won't be GG, and then that will be it. He did try to go roaches. He did throw down a roach horn at one point. But he just didn't have the gas, or he had the gas, but he just didn't have the minerals to make that happen.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, it's pretty much a scenario where it's hard to say that there's any possibility of coming back.
It is, but you're like, I think you got the right idea. He is not giving up. He's making a queen at his main. He's droning up like crazy. You know, the army of Bales hasn't moved out because, you know, it's still looking for whatever the hell is going on, you know, here in the natural. He goes back and scouts to make sure there isn't, like, another drone that he missed sitting over here somewhere, which I thought was kind of funny. But,
yeah, and I mean, at this point in time, both players really lacking on resources, so maybe Eon's, you know, he does have some limited knowledge as to what his opponent even, you know, has remaining, and I don't know. It's a fight you don't wanna just leave for fear of, you know, is this the one that I left too early?
Yeah.
You don't want to have that.
He does throw down a couple of spine crawlers. Unfortunately, oh no, those are spores. Sorry. He does throw down a couple of spore crawlers to deal with the void rays that are coming in. But prismatic alignment, not alignment, will pretty much melt these things. You know, because that's the point of prismatic alignment. It gets 2 hits, 3 hits. That's it. There's 1 queen. There's 1 spore crawler, 2 spore crawlers. But unless they focus fire down the weakest one of these, this is going to be a short match. They are trying to get that mothership core, but the mothership core is not the big worry here. It's the void rays. So the queen is doing its best. Prismatic alignment does wear out, so he does try to focus fire GG, and that is it. Bales takes it 2-0.
That he certainly does, and well played by Bales. Well played to. I mean, both of those matches he had to keep his head with him, you know, and really choose the right strategy to keep him in the game against Eon's kind of relentless aggression. You know, his often, I don't know. He chose aggressive strategies. What am I trying to say?
I don't know. You're the words thing again. You're having
I know.
difficulty.
I'm
with
dying
those
off here, man.
Those words.
I'm dying.
Maybe you need a coffee or a sandwich or something, man.
Maybe I haven't.